This is the brand new Molus B200 from Zhiyun. Zhiyun sent me this light for early review and testing, and I have been using this light for a couple of months as my main key light at my desk setup. I'm so excited to finally talk about this light as I've actually had it for a couple of months, and there's just so many great things to touch on. First, this is a Bowens mount style key light and comes in 4 different models. So you can use Bowens mount accessories with these lights, and the different models that this comes with are the B100, the B200, B300, and B500. And with all of the lights, their model number corresponds with the amount of output that that light produces. So the B200, which is the one that I have, is a 200 watt light. Let's first talk about the size of this light. The size is outstanding compared to so many of the lights that I've used in the past that are a similar size, especially my former key light, which was the Godox VL150 that I've been using for quite a while. I love that light, but there's just a few things that I don't love about it as far as the form factor. First of all, with the VL150, you do have to use a controller box. You have to find a location to mount that controller box, which is actually a pretty large item. And then the light itself is actually pretty large as well. So you have 2 sort of things you got to manage. And with the B200, there's no controller box and it's a really compact style light. So this thing saves me a lot of real estate as far as my studio space, which is very small, and I have angled ceilings. And the fact that this light is even smaller allows me to position the light in different ways that I was unable to position my Godox VL150. And even though you have a much smaller size of light, you are not sacrificing brightness at all with the B200. With the B200, you're measuring 8,370 lux. This is without the reflector. And then if you add the reflector at 1 meter, you're measuring 39,900 lux. So if you don't know what that means, that's just super bright. I mean, currently, check this out. I'm at 7% output right here. My former Godox light in this same position, I'd have to be around 25 to 28% of brightness, and this is only 7% brightness. Let me show you what this is at 100% using the app, which we'll talk about the app in a minute. We'll just kind of slide this up a little bit. Here is the former Godox light. I was right around this. This is 25%, so obviously way brighter. And then let's go to 100% output. Yeah, that's insanely bright, and I have a softbox on. So the size of the light and the brightness are really solid, but how is the quality of the light? Well, in my testing, I found that the quality is incredible at a CRI of over 95 plus. So you're gonna render skin tones really accurately with the Molus B200. This also means that you'd be able to integrate the B200 into different lighting setups that use different lights from different manufacturers, and it won't really change the lighting scene all that much because the quality of the light is really accurate. This light is also a bicolor temperature light, so I'm currently set to daylight temperature. Using the app, you can just quickly click what color temperature you want. And if I was doing a tungsten setting, right, we can quickly change this to a tungsten color temperature and anything in between. So I'll just kind of slide this color temperature dial here on the app up to its maximum Kelvin temperature, which is 6,500 Kelvin. This is great for matching daylight outside. So if it's direct sunlight, that's going to be around 6,500 Kelvin. If it's really bright, the brighter parts of the day, the cooler color temperatures. And then it can go all the way down to, this is 2,700 Kelvin. So very warm. This could match like Edison bulbs or really warm fireplace style lighting. It's an awesome feature to have that different bicolor temperature, but I'll switch back to 5,600 Kelvin for now. And the main thing that I want to highlight here is any light that is just super bright, super compact, really high quality of light, and has bicolor temperature. I mean, that's a huge win in my book. And then you get to the price point at $359 for the B200. I think that's a very great price point for what you're getting. Lots of lights in this same style and brightness range are right around the same price point, if not even a little bit more expensive. So $359, I think you're getting a fair price for a very high quality key light. I very briefly want to mention one of the main highlights of the Molus B200, which is their cooling system. I think it's called the Dynavort cooling system. And all this is just multiple fans on the unit to help keep the light cool, but it's also super quiet. And this is my favorite feature of the light because most of the lights that I have don't have very quiet fans. And this fan I have never once heard kick on in my studio. Granted, I only have to have it at 7% output because the light is so bright. So if I were to have to, bump this up to 70, 80% output for sustained periods of time, maybe we'd hear those fans. I don't actually know because I've never had to do that because the light's so bright. But in any case, if you look at this light and realize it has like this really unique cooling system and you might be concerned about the fans, just know that in my experience, the fans have never bled into a recording ever. And some of their other lights, like here's the Zhiyun M20C, the 5-ray M20C. I love this little light, but you can hear the fans on this quite a bit. You really have to have this light away from your microphone as an accent light or something because the fans do bleed into your audio recording, but I don't have that problem with the Molus B200 at all. I'll briefly just highlight this app again. It's very easy to use and comes with some preset color options. So we could click the tungsten button. We could also grab our color slider and kind of raise that up to a different color temperature, or even the output here. Man, this is hard to do backwards. There it is, boom. Okay, oh yeah, see, that's 100% output. Look at that, dude, that is just so bright. Overall, the app is really easy to use, and most of Zhiyun's lights that have been released in the last year or so utilize the ZY Vega app control. So you can kind of link together all of your Zhiyun lights on the ZY Vega app, and then you have remote control via your phone to control all the lights in your studio, which is really cool. There's also a little mini controller box that you can purchase separately, and I've actually looked at this and thought this would actually be really cool because I'd love the ability to just kind of have a little dial sitting on my desk, and if I need to change the color temperature and the brightness, I can just do that really quickly instead of pulling out my phone. Sometimes I like access to my phone and I just want a very simple adjustment right here within reach. Just kind of grab it, twist a little dial. I think that'd be sweet rather than having to get up and do it or grab my phone. So that's an additional accessory. It's probably not needed for most people, but in my use case, I think it'd actually be pretty sweet, so I might actually purchase one. The only thing I'd really like to see out of a B200 or the B series in general is maybe a B200C, so a color option that has RGB functionality. We've seen this a lot with some of their other lights, like the M20C is full RGB control with some cool accessories as well. So I think if they were just to accessorize this a little bit more and add some color RGB features, this would be more attractive to a wider range of people. But obviously you're gonna have some cost increases as you add the RGB functionality to a light. So I get why they're starting with the daylight bicolor kind of temperature lights. It makes sense, but in the future, I bet we can probably expect something like a B200C to come out with that RGB control. So in short, if you have around $350 to spend and you're looking for a new key light, the Molus B200 is really a great option. I've loved using it over the last couple months and I haven't really needed anything else. So for the foreseeable future, unless something else comes along, either from Zhiyun or someone else that I think is better and more compact and brighter and better quality RGB control, if something like that comes out, then maybe I'd make the switch. But for now, the Molus B200, this is gonna be my studio light for the foreseeable future. Thanks so much for taking time to watch this video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out more videos here on the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Much love.